What's good? Today is June 6th. It is 9:52 a.m. Just got finished working out. Did a little bit of a different workout today. Decided to do a whole bunch of burpees. Me and Trey had an agreement a while back ago. This might be over pushing 2 years now. That we don't curse, and every time we do curse, we have to do 5 burpees per curse word. So doing that for almost 2 years, you get pretty good at it. And now what I typically do is I kind of let my curses pile up and let the burpees pile up. Not necessarily a good thing to do, and I regret it every time because I always let it build up to 100. So while I'm doing 100 burpees, I regret it. But on the bright side, I mean, it was my workout for the day, so I ain't have to go to the actual gym. So I guess that's pretty good. But let's hop right into it today. Let's see. So, outcomes are a distraction. Focusing on the process of which you have to do to get the outcome is the most important thing you need to do. So, I feel like we are definitely outcome driven. We definitely care more about what we're going to get at the end of the road than necessarily the road itself. And listen, I can understand that because and yes, outcomes can be a distraction, but I don't think outcomes are a bad thing because that's almost at least in the beginning, that's the driving force of why you're going to do something. That I want to get healthier or I want to gain muscle. That is the outcome. My outcome is to gain muscle. So because of that, that's going to push me to go to the gym. Now, over time, that outcome in and of itself can possibly distract me. It can almost lose its glamour a little bit. And you could almost not want the outcome once you kind of realize how hard the journey is. But the place in which you actually grow as a person is the journey itself to get to that outcome. So yes, the outcome is the driving force, but it can be a distraction if you're so, maybe you could say, hypnotized by the outcome and you fantasize the outcome so much. Because yes, the outcome is great, but the whole thing is like, look at the person you became along the way. Look at the skills you became along the way. Look at the perseverance you showed and the discipline you showed and the it's more than just the outcome. You become more than just the outcome. So when you just look at the outcome and that's all you care about, then you necessarily get lost in it. Especially if the outcome, I guess you could say it's superficial, but or an example I could use to kind of explain that a little bit more is sometimes you don't really know the true effects of the outcome. Like you don't really I'm doing a horrible job at explaining this, so I'll just use an example. Some people go to the gym to work out for girls. I want to go to the gym so I can get girls. I want to put on muscle and look good so I can get girls. So the outcome is to get girls. Okay, cool, fair. Once you start hitting a certain point, you realize working out don't get you girls, bro. Putting on muscle don't get you girls. Now, it could help because you look good and you look better, but that does not get you girls. You still got to go out and approach women or at least try some type of online dating. If you're not going to go approach women in person, you got to at least have a good mouthpiece and good game to where you could fluently express yourself and express your interest to a girl where you can make her feel comfortable, where you can make her laugh and enjoy herself and let her know that you are portraying interest and not trying to do it in a creepy way. Like you have to be able to close the deal once the time comes. It's more than just getting the girl. There's more to come to it. So if I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna work out to get girls, once you hit a certain point, you start putting on a decent amount of muscle and you realize, oh, girls ain't really like nothing changed. I still got no shorties. And crazy enough, that's what happened to me in high school. Obviously, I'm saying obviously, I was working out not because of girls, but I was actually working out because of football. That's why I was in the gym working out. And that's how this all started. My dad started me working out because he was like, listen, in order for you to keep up, you got to work and push and gain muscle and get stronger. Because over time, these boys are going to start doing the same thing and they're going to get bigger and stronger and you're going to be left behind. Fair. So that was my point of working out, was for football. Everyone told me though, oh, you gonna get girls. Oh, working out, you gonna get some muscles. Ooh, girls gonna love you, dog. Or working out, you in the gym, you gonna get you some girls. So that's what everyone's telling me. So mind you, I've been working out at the age of 11. But mind you, 13, 14, 15, people keep telling me this. I'm getting a little excited. I'm like, this shirt's gonna come. So by the time I hit 16, I had some pretty decent size on me. I was actually bigger when I was 16 than I am now. So 16, 17, I had some size on me, Nothing changed. I still had no shorties. I still had no girls. So I'm over here thinking, well, damn, the outcome was, at least that wasn't my main outcome, but thinking this is what everyone was telling me, and this is what I'm thinking the outcome is going to be. I work out, I get stronger, I get better at football, I get girls. Girls see muscles, girl like muscles, I get girls. It don't work like that. That's very like caveman thinking. It didn't work. It didn't work at all, bro. I ain't getting no shorties from that. Why is that? I was too shy to approach women. When women did come talk to me, I was a little awkward. I was fine. I could still hold a convo, but I definitely was a little awkward and nervous at times. I had no freaking game. I couldn't flirt. I didn't know how to be flirtatious with a woman, be playful with a woman. I didn't know how to do none of that. I was scared. A lot of the times I was one very shy, but also when the time did present itself, I was scared. I was scared that I was going to be too bold or be too forward or I was going to mess up. I was tiptoeing. I was trying to say the things that I think they wanted to hear and not truly just being myself and enjoying the moment with them and kind of just letting things flow. So all that being said, I never got no girls because of that. And it's crazy because it wasn't until I practiced literally everything I just said, that's what got me girls. It wasn't the working out. And then I realized the working out was just on some like cherry on top. Like, yes, it helped with the initial attraction because I'm not like a fat bastard or anything like that. So it helped with the initial attraction. And then it helped just because I'm in shape. So now once we get together, then she, might compliment me on how I look, this, that. But in terms of just, I'm going to walk outside like this and a wife beater and a girl going to see me and she going to break her neck and then she going to turn around and come up and approach me. No, it was never like that. And I had more muscle back when I was 16 and 17 than I do now. And I'm not no player, but I get more girls now than I did back then at 16 and 17. I was getting no play. And I remember once I finally did get a girl, I was actually smaller in terms of muscle wise than I was when I was 16 and 17 because I wasn't working out as much. I wasn't eating as much during that time. So when I finally did get a girl, I was actually smaller. So it really kind of just solidified the fact that the gym, I'm not going to say the gym means nothing, but it wasn't what everybody told me. And I was chasing the outcome, chasing the outcome, chasing the outcome. And then come to find out the outcome wasn't even true. It wasn't even what I thought. And that's kind of the whole point that I was trying to drive home here is sometimes you think the outcome is going to be one thing, but it's not that. And you realize that the outcome that you were chasing the whole time was false. It was a distraction when I probably should have been focusing on something else. Maybe while I was in the gym, I should have been focusing more on my form so I could become better at football or something else along those lines. So that's where the distraction comes when it comes from the outcome. When you only think about the outcome, you're not going to appreciate the process. And also, when you only think about the outcome, I think you rob the process a little bit too. You rob yourself of enjoyment because it takes time to get to whatever you want to be. And it depends on what the outcome is, of course. Some outcomes you could obtain in a day, but some outcomes, especially if it's something big, like a big goal you have, it might take months and months and even years. So going through it could be pretty gruesome and rough depending on what it is. And the outcome itself might make you happy, but if you're miserable along the way, I'm not going to say what's the point, but it's going to be hard to stick to it because you're thinking about the outcome. Yes, this is great, this is great, this is great, this is great. But if I'm miserable along the whole way, I might mess around and never even get to the outcome. Compared to if you have the outcome as the main goal, cool. This is what I'm shooting for. This is what I want. As I'm going through the process, if I can at least take some time to detach from the outcome, really ingrain myself within the process and find a way to enjoy the process while I'm doing it, it will make getting to the outcome one less. I guess it'll make you less miserable. It'll make everything in and of itself more enjoyable. And who's to say that it might not even make the outcome itself more enjoyable because you appreciate it and enjoyed the process along the way. Even if enjoying it is just appreciating the person that you're becoming along the way, it still makes everything worth it. you know? So it's very important that we take time to actually focus on the day to day, because that's what we have in front of us. That's what we have at hand. We don't have the outcome at hand because it's going to take time to get there. But I do have the day to day at hand, whatever that day to day may be. Yes, the outcome is to gain 20 pounds of muscle, but I ain't there yet. But I do have the day to day. I do have the bench press sitting right in front of me. I do have 135 sitting on the bar right now that I can push myself and do 10 plus reps. And now I'm one step closer to gaining muscle. But let's do what's in front of me now, and let's do it in a way that is going to be beneficial so I can enjoy this process and appreciate it. And I think a part of that is still just like living in the moment, be in the process. Don't worry about the outcome. It'll come. Just be in the moment, be in the process, and appreciate this and enjoy this while you got it, you know? Because who's to say you even going to enjoy the freaking outcome once you get it? You think you enjoy it, and a lot of people think they're going to enjoy it until the outcome becomes real. And then you realize, okay, this wasn't what I thought. This wasn't what I expected. Actually, I don't like this at all. So that's gonna be my spill for today. Like I said, it's 10 in the morning. Did my little thing outside. I am dragging today. I ain't gonna lie. I slept so last night, and I'm definitely a little bit tired. It was hard for me to wake up today. It was real hard for me to get out of bed today. But I'm happy I made it out. Starting the day off pretty. I guess you could say pretty strong, but I've definitely started the days off better than this. But it's cool. It's gonna be a good Saturday. Really just gonna chill. Got some I feel like just everyday regular things I do pretty much every day in terms of read, write, guitar, a little bit of 2K here and there, figure out what I'm gonna eat for work, figure out ways I better myself. And that's really it. Edit. So that's gonna be it for today. Thank y'all for listening. I appreciate you guys taking the time out your day to hear me rant and hear me talk. Brody, I love you. Keep your head up, keep on pushing, and remember, outcomes can be a distraction. It is not a bad thing, but it definitely could distract you. Just focus on the now, focus on the process and the person that you're going to become and the person that you're becoming along the way, and the outcome will come when it's time. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.